everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today is a very rainy day. We are in August the 8th today, and probably when you're watching it, it probably will be sort of towards the end of August. But here is the thing. The thing is, it's just not been a great summer in the weather sense of it. And of course, you know, with the summer, you want to be out in the garden, you want to enjoy your hammock, and you want to just enjoy feeling the sunshine on your skin and sitting there having a cup of coffee or whatever other beverage. But it's not happening. So what I'm going to do today is I want to be true to myself. So I was thinking I need to film a video, but what kind of content do I want to film? So there's a number of things that I love creating, which I enjoy doing for YouTube as well as for my own pleasure. So that would be the faces of the girls, the modern botanical illustrations, and then the abstract art. So the abstract art is more who I identify myself as in my kind of private life or professional life outside of YouTube. And I don't know why, but I just kind of do it in my own space, and I've been developing the you know, the style and everything, and I just find that I don't want to perhaps show every single step of it. Maybe it's a mistake I'm doing, but the point here is I just looked through my studio and I was picking a few kind of colors from different art supplies. Mainly this will be a watercolor video, but I will be using other supplies with it, or I will be using supplies like watercolor as well. So for instance, we've got Ecoline, which is by Talents. It's just a liquid type of a watercolor, which is more of a dye than a pigment based watercolor. These are fun to use as well. So yeah, as I was doing that, I came across this sketchbook, and oh my gosh, it gave me so much joy. And the joy is, this is like the super simple sketchbook that I picked up one day in Hobbycraft, which is a craft shop in UK, which also sells some artist great watercolors and paints and art supplies. So this sketchbook is by C. White of Brighton, and it's only 140 GSM. So it's not kind of designed for watercolor, but oh my gosh, have I enjoyed this sketchbook. I don't know whether it's because it's a small square, whether I have had a very relaxed approach and not dedicated it to anything specific, so there's like no running theme, or whether I have explored, you know, the abstract art here quite a bit compared to my other sketchbooks. So there's a mix of everything really, but there's quite a bit of this, and this is what makes me the happiest. This is where I see myself. This is where I really appreciate it. I appreciate the textures, the color palettes, and I feel like I can really go to town with it and hone into small areas and develop them. And it's just the pleasure I get doing these things. Even something as small as this, I find the beauty in that. So yeah, going through this, I got super inspired by my own artwork, and I thought I simply must revisit my abstract art here on YouTube. And I'm also curious to see what your reaction is towards my abstract art. I mean, kind of been, you know, trying to figure out what does well and what doesn't do well on YouTube. The problem with that is when you run a YouTube channel, you want the videos to be well received, etc. So kind of trying to stay within one style is just not very feasible. So let's enjoy a bit of abstract art. See, the reason why I enjoy abstract art so much is because when I'm doing it, I don't think of anything other than putting myself onto the paper, like the colors, the textures, the mood, the flow of the paints and the different mediums colliding together. To me, it's such an exciting and feel-good moment. And I think every artist who finds that part really should stick to it. Now, it is difficult when you have a YouTube channel and you kind of think you want to satisfy and create art for your viewers that is what they are expecting. So I don't know, I think, you know, we do well when we just stay true to ourselves. And I know that so many of my viewers are not perhaps into abstract art, but the question is, shall I be just feeling free and doing what I feel most connected to, no matter what? So I'm just thinking, shall I do it in this sketchbook since I feel so good about it? Well, let's see how different it is. Maybe there's something with this paper that is like smoother, that gives me a result which makes me go and have fun in this sketchbook more, or whether it's something to do with the format. I'll start with the bigger sketchbook. So this is the Jackson's Kunstpapier and it's the 35% cotton. I have been enjoying it, so I have no worries with this sketchbook. See, it's a key to pick the right brush, to pick the right paper, right sketchbook, right format. It all kind of just fits into place. So where's the... I'm just looking for this particular brush that I have enjoyed using. Here we go. I wonder if I have a bigger size of that. Yes, I do. So this is a 3 and this is a 5. I'm going to go with a 5. So this is the Princeton brush round, Princeton Art and Brush Co. And it's got the red handle and the gold barrel here, which I think is really, really beautiful. And it doesn't hold too much water. Okay. I don't know, I feel weird talking today. It's the weather and I think it's also the lack of vitamin D, which our bodies are like super ready for this time of the year. That's the time when our bodies accumulate the sun, as it really doesn't stay that long. Yeah, it looks like you have to travel somewhere to get that. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. So I've got just a color here which I will use out of the pen. This technique is called wet in wet, and so essentially what's happening here is I've got a wet paddle, and what I'm doing is just adding some watercolors to it and letting them play with one another. Am I thinking of a color palette right now? I was in the beginning, but not doing it too much at the minute. I think I'm just going to use this space as a fun art play rather than thinking of the finished result. Okay, so that's our watercolor. What we're going to do next is pick another watercolor, and I'm going to go this time with... So firstly I used transparent red oxide, adding quinacridone red light, and now I'm going to go into Aussie red gold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch the sides and let it all kind of flow in. So we have a little bit of the quinacridone red light here and some of the transparent red oxide shooting through. And that will be that. I also want to add some of the liquid colors. And for that you can either use it straight out of the bottle. So what I could do, for example, is, let's show you here. So I'm just going to wet this area like so. And already have something happening. Now remember, these are dye based, so they may act completely different. So I'm just going to drop that straight in, and I'm just going to continue connecting these like so. I'm just seeing what's happening. So then I'm going to add pink. So this one is fuchsia. Let's see what happens. And this one was burnt sienna. So I'm going to now add, you can see it's that the colors are really, really vibrant and strong. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back into the traditional watercolor, and I think I'm going to go into Rose Mallow Genuine, which is right here. So far we have a pink heavy and like orange heavy color palette here. And I don't want to do too much work. I just want these colors to blend together on their own, and all I'm doing is just connecting them. And just slightly changing the shapes. I'm happy to have some of the lighter shapes, or colors rather, as well. And let's see, this is all dry now, so it's not going to give us any runs, but we'll see what happens. So here we go. Nothing is happening here, so I could add a touch more of this burnt sienna into there. I'll go have a look if I have another pink. This fuchsia is not my favorite tone.